This episode of Occupy Democrats is a tale of two media companies. One is a network that calls itself news but serves as Donald Trump's propaganda channel, and one is the network that Dan Rather used to work for, but as of this week is now better known for capitulating to Trump. In just a minute, I'll share Rather's very bitter disappointment over what CBS and their parent company Paramount did and the dire warning he issued for us all. But first, I want to share this fascinating piece that exposes how Fox News produces their unique brand of faux news as told by two former insiders. The clip you're about to see is from the Sanity podcast, hosted by Allison Camerata and Dave Briggs, who used to share a Fox couch together. But today they're dishing the dirt on how the so-called news channel can take something like Alligator Alcatraz and turn it into a low-information, high-emotion news cow that can be milked for days. I think you'll find it fascinating, and then I'll share Dan Rather's scathing words about CBS.
What is Alligator Alcatraz? And how does it have all of the essential elements of the Fox formula?
The essential ingredients of the Fox formula. I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, here they are. Here are the three hallmarks of the Fox formula that I think Alligator Alcatraz captures. Number one, a catchy title, okay? Something also a little exotic sounding. And what this does for Fox viewers, it allows them to feel like they're in the know about a complicated topic, but with a catchphrase, okay? So, in other words, like Benghazi, Ground Zero, Mosque, War on Christmas, okay? Number two, ignite the horror center of your brain or the outrage center of your brain. So, War on Christmas, Benghazi, that sounds scary. Ground Zero Mosque or Alligator Alcatraz, that conjures up something scary, something horror. Immediately your brain is ignited. Number three, have enough angles, have the story have enough angles that Fox can hammer it home every single hour without ever getting to any substance. So without ever getting to any of the critical thinking analysis that would actually be required for something like comprehensive immigration reform or how we're going to give migrants due process. You don't have to do that because you can just say pythons, alligators, Everglades.
It's amazing. And I laugh because you put me back on the curvy couch when I remember producers telling me in my ear, continue to hammer that signature phrase.
This is another point that I wanted to make to you, Dib. It's never about problem solving. It's never about solutions. It's never about how do we fix this. It's about drumming up the outrage. And the longer the outrage lasts, Mosque at Ground Zero for a year, Benghazi for 3 years, the longer the ratings, can churn.
Okay, enough with faux news. Let's turn our attention to serious journalism and Dan Rather's take on Paramount agreeing to pay $16 million to the Trump administration and settle its lawsuit over a 60 Minutes report. The headline in Variety said, Dan Rather on Paramount's $16 million Trump settlement, it was a sellout to extortion by the president.
Legendary former CBS News anchor Dan Rather expressed disappointment Wednesday at Paramount Global's decision to pay $16 million to the Trump administration and settle its lawsuit over a 60 Minutes report. It's a sad day for journalism, Rather told Variety. It's a sad day for 60 Minutes and CBS News. I hope people will read the details of this and understand what it was. It was distortion by the president and a kneeling down and saying, yes, sir, by billionaire corporate owners. What really gets me about this is that Paramount didn't have to settle, Rather said. You settle a lawsuit when you've done something wrong. 60 Minutes did nothing wrong. It followed accepted journalistic practices. Lawyers almost unanimously said the case wouldn't stand up in court. Rather expressed a full backing of his former colleagues at CBS News and 60 Minutes. My support for them is total, absolute, he said. I do really think they fought a good fight on this, and they'll continue to fight. The people on 60 Minutes and at CBS News didn't just take it lying down. They did their best to stop it. I was disappointed, but I wasn't surprised, he said. Big billionaire business people make decisions about money. We could always hope that they will make an exception when it comes to freedom of the press. But it wasn't to be. Trump knew if he put the pressure on and threatened and just held that they would fold, because there's too much money on the table, he added. Trump is now forcing a whole news organization to pay millions of dollars for doing something protected by the Constitution, which is, of course, free and independent reporting. Now, you take today's sellout, and that's what it was. It was a sellout to extortion by the president. Who can now say where all this ends? Rather than pointed to the larger issue of what this means for the United States as a democracy. It has to do with not just journalism, but more importantly, with the country as a whole, he said. What kind of country we're going to have, what kind of country we're going to be. If major news organizations continue to kneel before power and stop trying to hold the powerful accountable, then we all lose.
CBS, once home to the gold standard of journalism, now bending the knee to Trump. Paramount, its parent company, just paid a $16 million settlement to make a defamation suit vanish all over a critical 60 Minutes piece. And rather, the living legend didn't hold back. He called it a sellout to extortion by the president. This is not just a media story, it is a DEFCON 1 warning. When corporate media cowardice meets authoritarian bullying, journalism and democracy both take a hit. And I'll give journalist Jim Acosta, a man with a lot of experience with Trump, the final and blistering word on what's at stake.
Paramount said its payment includes Mr. Trump's legal fees and costs, and that the money minus the legal fees will be paid to Trump's future presidential library. I mean, that in and of itself, and this is me interjecting here, not reading the article anymore, should have come across as a bright red, lava red warning sign to Paramount to not pay this ransom, to not pay this bribe. And yet they paid it anyway. They did exactly what ABC did, exactly what Disney did in settling their bullshit lawsuit. They paid millions of dollars to the Trump presidential library, which, by the way, has anybody thought this through? What is that presidential library going to be like? Are they going to have the January 6th wing of the Trump presidential library where they reenact the attack on the Capitol on January? I mean, think about are they going to have an alligator Alcatraz wing of the Trump presidential library? I mean, it's a crock of shit. And so to Paramount, what you have done is just in bending the knee to Donald Trump, is you have encouraged the bad behavior to continue. He is obviously going to file, and the CBS lawsuit, the lawsuit against CBS and 60 Minutes, was complete horseshit. And all you have done, Paramount, is encourage Donald Trump to do this again. He's going to do this to yet another major news organization in this country. As long as there is a giant company that owns a news organization, and that giant company has business before the administration. And this is according to the New York Times. Sherry Redstone, the chair and controlling shareholder of Paramount, told her board that she favored exploring a settlement with Trump. Some executives at the company viewed the president's lawsuit as a potential hurdle to completing a multi-billion dollar sale of the company to the Hollywood studio Skydance, which requires the Trump administration's approval. And so anytime you have one of these situations where a major media company that owns a prominent news organization wants to push through one of its media deals and has to get the blessing and the sign off of the Trump administration, Donald Trump is going to put that company over a barrel.